Akasan's Honest Reactions. My apologies for maybe the cropping or any problems you might be having. My preview thing isn't working on my iPhone or whatever through my GoPro, so it may not be exactly as I usually have it perfectly lined up, but I'm in a hurry. I got 2 or 3 things to record today and a few reactions, so I just need to get this one out the way. And I'm hungry too. I just got home. Anyways, there's not a lot of YouTube channels that I actually watch. I don't really watch other people's reactions, other reactors, except for compilations. And there's a few other channels that I actually frequent a lot. I'm subscribed to a lot of Japanese channels actually. Same thing goes with J-Vloggers, only one guy that I occasionally do watch. I mean, I'm subscribed to him, but you know, if there's an interesting topic, I'll watch him. But if there's things that I actually really look forward to, it's Modern War Negro. I'm not even a big gamer, but I still like to watch his stuff. And there's another guy, in terms of the tech world, Soldier Knows Best, and he changed his name recently to Mark Watson. I don't know if he's familiar about that's what happened with his subscribers, but he used to be called Soldier Knows Best, and I don't know anything about the new MacBooks or Apple Watch or anything like that. But I'm glad that he actually made a video, because I've been trying to find some just straightforward information on what was released during the Mac event, because I've just been getting a lot of hate on one side, or a lot of dick slinging, or dick riding. So, let me see what he has to say. But please check out his channel. Please, Mark. I guess it's going to be under Mark Watson. I'll leave a link to the in the description below to this thing I'm about to watch, because I just want to see what it's all about, and I trust his opinion. So, come with me and let's check it out. Pop me up, and here we go.
This episode of Soldier Knows Best is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the easiest way to create a beautiful website, blog, or online store for you and your ideas.
Okay.
Squarespace has a number of features, including a very nice interface, beautiful templates, and also 24/7 customer support. And one of my favorite features is
After work,
responsive design, which means that it will scale to any device that somebody's looking at your website on, so your cell phone, your tablet.
Well, that's really good. Thank you. I appreciate this. Actually,
so go ahead and try Squarespace by going to
he does actually. He did another sponsor for a $1 shaving club. He's pretty good. I'd like to get my channel that same way.
Apple had an event today, and we thought this event was mostly going to be focused on the Apple Watch, but there were a couple other announcements that they talked about. To me, kind of stole the show from the new Apple Watch. And I will cover everything they talked about.
Thank you.
So sit back, relax, and see what new things Apple is bringing to the plate. And first off, they announced a collaboration with HBO to release the new HBO Now application. Now, HBO Now allows you to access all the content that HBO produces, from Game of Thrones to all the different boxing events or movies that they're showing, and you can access this content without needing a cable or satellite subscription. So if you use HBO Go, you know that you have to log in with your DirecTV account or Comcast account. But HBO Now will eliminate all of that. All you need to do is pay $15 to use the service. Now, this will be launching on the Apple TV first in April, and then it'll be released for other devices at a later time. Now, sticking with the new Apple TV, they didn't announce any new hardware changes or major software changes, but they are dropping the price from $99 down to $69, a little bit more. The next announcement isn't the flashiest one or the one that's going to get talked about the most.
I have an Apple TV
product, but
never used it.
I think it's going to be the most important announcement that you can get from this event, and it's called Research Kit. Now, Research Kit is basically Apple working with medical researchers to reach iPhone users to allow them to opt in to help find new cures for diseases and send some of their information out to these medical researchers so they can compile all this information and hopefully save lives in the future. And so there are a few apps that you can download today that focus on Parkinson's disease and breast cancer and a few others. And you can opt in. Again, you opt into this and you can send the information like your heart rate, or you can send information like you can actually say to the microphone on the iPhone, and you can record that. So it's really cool to see that, but all this information does not go to Apple, it goes directly to these medical researchers. And again, this is a very good cause, and I think something that should get a lot more recognition coming from this event. And I think it's something that really can help people in the long run. All right, so let's get back to the actual product announcements and talk about the new MacBook. This new MacBook will give you one of those moments where your jaw will drop when you first look at it. It is 24% thinner than the previous MacBook Air, and it comes in 3 different colors now. You can get it in space gray, gold, and silver, and it just looks ridiculous. It is all metal. The antennas that you normally see on the back that are in that little black band are gone. They're moved inside, and it's an all metal design, so it's going to be sturdy but look very uniform. And the keyboard now goes edge to edge. It's a full size keyboard on this new MacBook. And they actually reworked the keys. They added this new butterfly mechanism. And so basically, this butterfly mechanism will allow you to press down on the keys anywhere on them, and they won't wobble. They won't give you an unsatisfying effect. It'll just feel like a very smooth operation when you press down on the keys. And also, they've added individual LED lighting for each key. So when you are using this laptop in a completely dark room, you'll be able to see all the keys a little bit easier.
That's pretty
The
cool.
display on this bad boy is Apple's thinnest display they've ever made. It is a Retina display that has a resolution of 2304 by 1440, has over 3.3 million pixels, and has a 16 by 10 aspect ratio. So the display is going to be just as bright as all the other Retina displays. It's going to be drawing less power, so that will help with the battery life.
Nice.
Now, speaking of the battery, when I first saw this new MacBook, I was really concerned about how they were going to be able to provide adequate battery life in a design that is so small and so thin. But they announced that they're going to be actually having sheets of battery inside of this new MacBook. So they're going to be layered on top of each other because the way of the shape of the bottom of the MacBook kind of curves a little bit. This will allow them to take advantage of all the empty space that they have inside of this new MacBook. And that's because they have a very small logic board and all the different other components are very shrunk down. And so with that, they are promising all-day battery life, which will basically equate to about
I heard
9
they
hours
took
of
all the
browsing
ports
and
out
10
though,
hours of
and
eye
that's
play.
like
Now, alongside
what?
the new keyboard, they've also made a new trackpad, which they're calling their Force Touch trackpad. So this trackpad has their new Taptic engine, which will give you feedback when you are clicking on things. And also, no matter where you click on this trackpad, it will feel the same. Because normally when you click on the top of the trackpad, it's a little bit more stiff than it will be if you click on the bottom of it. But now it'll be a very even sensation. You can also adjust the sensation to feel of the trackpad in the settings in your software. Now, because this new trackpad is more accurate in measuring the amount of pressure that you put on the trackpad, you can do a deep pressure by pressing heavy on it, or you can press in light on it. They've added this new feature called Force Click, will allow you to basically do a nice deep press. I know this sounds weird, but you do a nice deep press on the trackpad, and it will initiate a certain option that they're adding to the software in OS 10. So if you do a force click on an address, it will pull up maps. If you do a force click on a file in Finder, it'll open up a preview. Or if you do a force click on
Woo,
a
this is kind of good. I'm kind of feeling it. Kinda.
So this is very cool. And again, this will be in the settings built in OS 10. But ultimately, this new trackpad and new keyboard are aiming to make you be more productive with this new MacBook. So
Good.
we'll see how this fares in the long run. We're actually able to use
Now tell me the bad things,
over the
please.
course of time and really see if they really make a difference. Now, a couple other quick notes about this new MacBook is that it is fanless, so it will be a very quiet operating machine. It also only has one connected port, and this new port is called USB-C. Now, this USB-C port is basically a USB 3.0, a display, a VGA, and an HDMI port all built into one. And also, you'll use this port to charge this new MacBook. Now, if I had to find one negative about this MacBook, would be that the FaceTime camera is only 480p, it's not 720p or above. So it's a little bit less quality than what I was expecting. But other than that, this new MacBook looks absolutely amazing. It will start at $1299. And that will get you a 1.1 gigahertz dual core Intel Core M processor with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of onboard flash storage. And then you
Not
can
bad.
opt for the $15.99 version that would be a 1.2 gigahertz processor, and that will come with 512 gigabytes of flash storage. And so if you really want to get this new MacBook, it will start shipping on April the 10th. All right, now lastly, it's going to talk about the main reason why Apple held this event, and that is to tell us the final launch details of the new Apple Watch. Now, in the beginning, they kind of went over some of the software and hardware details that we already knew about before, about how the watch face is customizable, not just from the look, but you can show information like your weather or stock information or your fitness information. And also the new digital touch, which will allow you to send your heartbeat and send different drawings to some of your favorite friends. And how the Taptic engine will alert you to all the notifications that you get from your iPhone, and that you can receive phone calls on your watch because it does have a built-in speaker and microphone. Now, Apple also gave a demo of how some of the third-party apps will work on this watch, including the very popular app Instagram, and you can view all the photos of people that you follow right there on the watch. And also they did an Uber demo where you can call for a car, and it'll show you all the information of that car from the driver. They'll show his face, and they'll show the type of car and also the license plate, and then also give you a notification when the car does arrive. Now, when it comes to battery life, Apple once again is promising all-day battery life, and they're promising about 18 hours. But unlike the new Pebble Watch and other watches out there, it's not going to offer you more than 1 day worth of usage. So you're going to have to charge this thing every day, just like you do your cell phone. All right, so now it's going to get to the information that you really want to know. When can you buy this new Apple Watch, and how much will it cost? So this Apple Watch will be available in 3 different versions. The cheapest version will be the Apple Watch Sport, which will start at $349. And this is made out of aluminum and also has a good amount of different bands you can choose from. And this, again, is going to be the most affordable option to be able to get into if you really want this Apple Watch. And the next one is just called the Apple Watch, and it's made out of stainless steel or space black stainless steel.
Damn.
So you have a couple different color options there. And it also is going to be one up in the Apple Watch Sport because it does have a sapphire crystal instead of just strengthened ion X glass that the Apple Watch Sports has. Now, the Apple Watch will be starting at $549. And then after that, we have the big daddy of them all, the Apple Watch Edition. And this one is one that
Who's
sometimes
naming
supply
this
of
shit?
one because it's going to be very limited in supply. 2 is made out of 18 karat gold, so it's going to have a starting price of $10,000. Yes, $10,000. And so this will be available in yellow or rose gold, and also we'll have the sapphire crystal display that you find in the Apple Watch. And so pre-orders for all these different versions of the Apple Watch will start on April 10th. And on the same day, you'll actually be able to go into an Apple store and view these for the first time in person. And they will be made available for purchase, or the pre-orders will start arriving on your doorsteps starting on April the 24th. And so this wraps up all the important information from the Apple event today. They talked about a lot of stuff, and they have a lot of cool things coming out. Of course, some people are going to have some negative things to think about this, and a lot of people are going to have some positive things to think about what Apple announced today. And I want to hear what you think just by leaving your comment down below this video. Of course, I'll have some more demos and unboxings and reviews of these products as they start to launch over the next few weeks. So stay tuned for all of that. And like always, thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will catch you later. Peace.
Damn, I think my outro might have gotten it inspired by him. Now that I think about it, it's been a while since I watched some of his. I will catch you later. Peace. Anyways, thank you, Mark Watson. Soldier knows best. Always out there to support my fellow black actors, man. Black actors. So it doesn't sound as bad, and I'm glad I waited to see what he was talking about instead of through IGN or some other thing, because I just saw a lot of hate. People were like bashing, but it's generally the same people that always bash Apple products. So when it comes out, and I was a little worried because the MacBook situation kind of bothered me a bit. Like they said they weren't going to have any ports or anything, and I'm like, what? I thought it was going to be all like cloud-based and like you couldn't plug a USB into it or something like that. So I would have to look more into that USB-C thing that they're doing, but I kind of like that idea that they made it all in one, basically. That's not actually a bad idea. If you could understand like how, even as a Mac user right now, as a general computer user, how annoying it is sometimes when, even after we finish recording this, I'm going to come back here and I'm like fiddling around in the back trying to find trying to stick it in the right hole, basically. The USB, same thing, charging my phone. It's like so much stuff going on. This idea of this like kind of one sort of port, I'd be interested. I'm quite interested to see how functional that would be. There's times where, for example, though, what are you going to do? Like, you're going to stick it all in one hole. And what if you got one thing that needs to get in there? Like you got a external terabyte, external drive. You got all these other external things. And so you're going to be trying to stick all these things in through one hole at the same time. It's... You can't gang bang your goddamn laptop. Until the Batman vs. Superman trailer comes out, I shall keep my reactions honest. Speaking of gangbang.